No one is safe. Ganyan inilarawan ng Filipino community sa Amerika ang immigration crackdown ni US President Donald Trump. Kaya nangangamba sila, lalo na yung mga Pinoy na may pending residency papers. Baka magdulot din umano ang mahigpit na immigration policy sa hindi maayos na pagtrato sa mga migrante kahit ano pa ang kanilang estado. Para kumustahin ang sitwasyon ng mga kababayan natin doon, magkakasama natin si Genevieve Hopanda, ang Filipino-American civic leader. Good afternoon, Genevieve. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Kumusta? First, kumustahin ko muna mga kababayan natin. Kumusta sila dyan? Has the crackdown started?
The crackdown has started. I think you guys have seen in the media that President Trump has filled planes with immigrants, Latino immigrants, and send them back to the border where, Mexico actually denied them and shut the border down in protest to the president. So it definitely has begun. And I haven't heard of a lot in terms of Filipino undocumented, but we are on edge and we are keeping our eyes and ear on the ground.
Genevieve, we have an estimated 350,000 undocumented Filipinos in the U.S., and you said no one is safe. What do you mean by no one is safe?
What I mean by no one is safe is that, no one is, above the law. I think that the President Trump, is very unequipped and unaware how the law works, and he's just been signing out executive orders. And so when I say no one is safe is depending on who follows him and they execute those orders is based on their interpretation. And some of that has been inhumane. So I think it's very scary that he does not abide by the three branches of government. There's the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. And so you're starting to see that federal judges are blocking some of his executive orders. And so that's the scary part, is that he doesn't follow the law. And so he basically is spreading hate. So we should be afraid of hate and his sentiments and those people that are following him and applying that to innocent people.
With this crackdown, how's the level of fear and anxiety sa mga kababayan natin?
Sure. I was actually with Jose Antonio Vargas earlier today. We're meeting on something separately, but he was undocumented. He's now a visa holder. And he said that some people are approaching him and say, should we self-deport, because they're very scared and they're very anxious because they feel like they're targeted. There's just this bigger sense of targeting undocumented immigrants, and the crackdown, you're seeing a lot of stuff in the media. So it absolutely is scary and unnerving. But I think the important thing is that our community should know the law. They should know how to protect themselves and know that, how to identify real ICE and Border Patrol. And so going back to no one is safe, is there are people out there that are impersonating ICE and Border Patrol and again, targeting immigrants, not even undocumented immigrants, just immigrants, because of the hate that the president is enabling.
Oh, but some officials have noted that deportations are primarily focused on individuals with criminal records. So this is not the case?
Well, I'm not familiar with how they're choosing, but again, the way that the president has been behaving and has been very unhinged, there's no screening process, right, when they are detaining people. And so technically, if you are, waiting for your papers, you have a visa, waiting for your interview, you should be safe. But again, it's based on the interpretation of who's implementing it, right? And so that's why it's really important that we reinforce to people that they know their rights and they know what is right and what is wrong when you're being approached by an ICE or Border Patrol, and even law enforcement. Law enforcement, they're not officers of immigration, so that has to be very, very clear, is to really be smart about the process, be smart about the law, and be smart about how to protect yourself.
Our fellow men are extremely scared and anxious. For now, what can and should they do? And what is your group doing to help them?
Sure, we're not an immigration law firm, and we're not an immigration law organization. We have been circulating some documents, know your rights or toolkits that are in Tagalog. Tayo Filipino Tayo Help Desk, which is a project of Filipino Young Leaders Program, has in language documents. The National Immigration Law Center has documents that I've shared with your staff that can be downloaded in different languages. And then the National Filipino American Law Association, we've also been directing them to those people. We've been working closely also with the consulates and the embassy in case, we hear of anything and how we could support each other. So we work very closely with Department of Foreign Affairs through the Philippine Embassy in the United States and its consulates here in the United States.